Alex Garcia, huh? That you? Get in here quick, man. You look like a truck just ran over your face. Todd's voice cut through the sizzle of grease, sharp and impatient, as he stood behind the grill. Car horns blared from the drive-thru outside, a relentless chorus of chaos. Rick Silva, masquerading as Alex Garcia, a washed-up pharmacy owner from Philly, shoved the door open, sweat beading under the itchy wig plastered to his skull. He wasn't some rookie. He was the CEO of Checkers and Rallies, but today he'd come to see his empire from the trenches. And these trenches, in Homestead, Florida, were already on fire, literally and figuratively. "Yeah, that's me. Todd, right? Show me what to do." "I don't know, Jack," Rick said, his voice deliberately shaky, eyes darting around. The tiny joint was packed, the air thick with the stench of burnt burgers. His heart pounded, not from fear but from the sheer madness of it all. This wasn't the polished picture he got in Tampa boardrooms. Todd smirked, tossing him a pair of greasy rubber gloves. "Don't know, Jack? Perfect. Put these on, stand here, and don't torch the grill. Hit this button, flip the meat when it beeps. Easy. Let's go." He spun back, hands flying as he stacked burgers, yelling into the headset. "Yo, Mark, where's those 5 chicken boxes? People are losing it out there." "Moles." Rick grabbed the button, pressing too hard, and a shrill beep screeched like an alarm. "Damn it, why's this thing so fast?" he muttered, but Todd was already on him, eyes wide. "Fast? You're slow as hell. Do it again. Customers don't wait. You mess up. I'm the one getting chewed out." Todd's tone was razor sharp, but a flicker of worry crossed his face. A kid trapped in a machine that never stopped. Rick gritted his teeth, flipping a charred patty, the acrid smell hitting his nose. He'd faced down shareholders, sold them on billion-dollar visions, but now a cheap grill had him sweating bullets. "Todd, how long you been at this?" he asked, probing, needing to know more. Todd shot him a glance, hands still moving. "Almost a year and a half. Figured it out myself. Nobody teaches you squat. You just do it, screw up, fix it. That's it." Rick froze, his hand hovering midair. "Figured it out yourself? No training at all?" His voice spiked, disbelief spilling out. He'd sunk millions into training systems, held endless meetings with execs to ensure every worker knew the drill. Yet here was Todd, fumbling through like a castaway. Anger simmered in his chest, not at Todd, but at himself. "Yeah, myself. What, that shock you? This ain't a place for slowpokes, Alex," Todd shrugged, shoving Rick aside to save the burning meat. "Watch, hit the button, flip, season light. Don't dump it like you're salting the ocean." Rick nodded, but his mind was spinning. He flashed back to Miami, a skinny Cuban kid shoved off his bike by bigger punks, his house spray-painted with spick and dripping red. His mom had grabbed his arm, eyes blazing. "Don't let anyone disrespect you, Rick. Fight back, even if you lose." He had, and they'd never messed with him again. Now, staring at Todd, scrawny, hollow-eyed, scrambling to survive in this dump, he felt that same shove. Who was disrespecting this kid? Him? The empire he'd built? "Alex, quit zoning out. 5 chicken boxes now!" Todd snapped, yanking Rick back to reality. He fumbled the button, hands trembling, sweat dripping down his spine. The headset crackled. "Hey, hurry up! I'm starving out here!" A customer growled, and the weight crashed down on Rick like a boulder. He wasn't just learning to cook, he was staring down a truth he'd dodged for years atop his CEO throne. "Sorry, I'm too slow," Rick mumbled, trying to stuff chicken into a box, but his clumsy fingers dropped half of it on the floor. Todd sighed, crouching to scoop it up. "Slow's fine, just don't get me canned. I need this gig, got it?" His voice dipped, like he'd let slip something he hadn't meant to. Rick looked up, locking eyes with him. "Need it? Why? Tough times at home?" He pressed, forgetting his Alex act for a second. Todd paused, clutching the fallen chicken, then turned away. "My mom. She counts on me. I don't work. Who does?" The answer was short, but it hit Rick like a punch to the gut. This kid wasn't just clocking in, he was carrying a family on his bony shoulders. "You're the breadwinner?" Rick asked, his tone softening, curiosity burning. Todd nodded, avoiding his gaze. Yeah, Mom's sick, bills are piling up. I'm all she's got. His voice cracked, but he shook it off, shouting, Mark, chicken, now, don't make me beg. Rick stood still, spatula in hand, but his thoughts raced. He remembered his own parents, Cuban immigrants, remortgaging their house to open a pharmacy where he'd mopped floors and fallen in love with business. He'd turned checkers and rallies into a money-making beast, but now he wondered, was that beast crushing kids like Todd? He wanted to scream, smash the grill to bits, but he swallowed it down. He was Alex, not Rick. Not yet. Alex, you good? You look like you're about to bawl, Todd said, half joking, half serious. Rick forced a laugh, shaking his head. Nah, I'm fine. Just didn't expect this job to hit so hard. A lie, but inside fury was boiling. If Todd was self-taught, if his system had abandoned this kid, who was the real failure here? Him or his precious company? Another horn blared, this time with a curse from the window. Hey, speed it up, idiots! I ain't got all day. Rick whipped around, instinct screaming to yell back, but Todd jumped in. Sorry, sir, we're going as fast as we can, he shouted into the mic, then hissed to Rick, Ignore 'em. They're always like that. Keep moving. Rick nodded, but a plan was forming. He'd come to inspect, but now he wanted to tear it all down and start over. He glanced at Todd. The kid had no clue about the storm brewing. Todd, you deserve better than this, Rick muttered, too quiet for anyone to hear. But he knew if this restaurant was a sign of what was rotting in his company, things were about to get ugly. The shift bell rang, but relief didn't come. Rick watched Todd wipe sweat off his brow, flash a tired grin at the crew, and shuffle into the dark. He wondered, what would tomorrow bring? If his whole operation was crumbling from the inside, what was his CEO title even worth? He clenched his fists, following Todd's shadow. This was just the start, and something told him the next blow would keep him up all night. Alex, you're killing me. 5 chicken boxes. Move it or I'm toast. Todd's shout sliced through the grill's hiss, his hands a blur as he slapped patties onto buns. Rick, still playing Alex Garcia, fumbled with the greasy spatula, the heat searing his face. The drive-through line outside was a war zone, horns blaring, voices cursing through the headset. He'd built this company on speed and perfection, but now he was drowning in it, and Todd was his lifeline. I'm trying, man. Damn it, this thing's a beast, Rick yelled back, slamming the button too late. Smoke curling from a burnt wing. His CEO mask was slipping. He wanted to rip it off and fix this mess. But he couldn't. Not yet. Todd darted over, shoving him aside. Trying ain't enough. Look, drop 6 strips, hit finish, go. They're waiting. His voice cracked. Not just from exhaustion, but something deeper, something desperate. Rick stumbled, catching the edge of the counter, eyes locked on Todd. You're running on fumes, huh? How do you keep this up? He tossed the question out, fishing for more, needing to understand. Todd didn't look up, just kept moving. No choice. Mom's meds don't pay themselves. You? He flipped the strips, grease popping like gunfire. Me? Lost my drugstore in Philly. Thought food might be easier, Rick lied, the words tasting bitter. Todd snorted. Easier? This ain't no picnic, but I get it. Gotta eat, right? He paused, then muttered, I wanted to be a chef once. 7th grade. Dropped out to help Mom. Rick's gut twisted. Dropped out? You loved it, though. Why quit? His voice rose, forgetting his cover, the grill forgotten. Todd shrugged, eyes dark. Love don't pay bills. I'm her rock now. No whining. Just do it. His tone was flat, but the weight behind it hit Rick like a brick. This kid was a soldier, fighting a war Rick's company should have shielded him from. Yo, Todd, trash, now. A new voice boomed. Steven, the general manager, stormed in, all bulk and bark, his apron stained with authority. Todd flinched, but nodded. On it, boss. Steven turned to Rick, sneering. You newbie. Speed up or I'll drag you outside myself. Overtime's on you. Rick's blood boiled. Drag me? For what? Doing my best. He stepped forward, fists clenched, the old Miami fire flaring up. Steven laughed, cold and mean. Best ain't good enough. Move, or you're out. He spun away, barking at another worker. "Mark, fries, or I'll clock you one." Todd grabbed Rick's arm, pulling him back. "Chill, Alex. He's always like that. Ignore him." But Rick couldn't ignore it. Steven's threat echoed the bullies who'd pushed him off his bike, and Todd's flinch screamed disrespect. "Always? He threatens you like that every day?" Rick's voice was low, dangerous. Todd hesitated, then nodded. "Yeah, but I need this job, Mom." He stopped, swallowing hard. "Just take the trash, okay? Don't poke the bear." Rick stared at him, then at Steven's hulking back. "No bear's gonna growl at me," he muttered, grabbing the bag, but his mind was racing. This wasn't just a bad manager. This was his failure, festering in plain sight. Outside, the dumpster stank of rot, mirroring Rick's mood. He hurled the bag in, slamming the lid. "How's it feel, Todd? Getting kicked around like that?" he asked as Todd trailed behind, wiping his hands. Todd shrugged, voice small. "Like I'm nothing, but I stay for her." "Nothing? You're not nothing," Rick snapped, louder than he meant, his cover fraying. Todd blinked, startled. "What's your deal, Alex? You care too much for a newbie." Rick caught himself, forcing a grin. "Guess I hate bullies. Had my share growing up." Todd nodded, slow. "Me too, but fighting don't fix bills." He turned back inside, leaving Rick alone with the buzzing neon sign. Horns blared again. Another order, another scream from Steven. "Alex, get in here or you're done!" Rick's jaw tightened. He'd faced down worse than Steven, but Todd hadn't, and that burned deeper than the grill ever could. "Coming," he growled, storming back in. Todd was at the fry station now, head down, dodging Steven's glare. Rick watched, fury coiling. "This ends tonight," he whispered to himself. He'd come to learn, but now he wanted blood. Not Steven's, but the system's. Todd didn't know it, but the bear was about to get a fight it wouldn't forget. "Alex, you deaf? 5-piece barbecue, now!" Steven's roar shook the tiny kitchen, his meaty fist banging the counter. Rick, still Alex Garcia to them, wrestled with the fry station, buttons smeared and unlabeled, oil splashing his arms. The headset screeched, "Where's my food, morons?" He was drowning, years of boardroom swagger useless against this chaos, and Steven's bellowing made it a personal hell. "I'm on it. Back off," Rick shot back, slamming a basket of strips into the fryer, his patience gone. Steven loomed closer, breath hot with stale coffee. "Back off? You don't tell me squat, newbie." "Screw up again, and I'll toss you out myself." His eyes gleamed, daring Rick to push back. Todd darted between them, voice tight. "Steven, he's new. Cut him some slack." Steven wheeled on him, snarling. "Slack? You want slack, Todd? Keep mouthing off and I'll cut your hours. See how your mommy likes that." Todd paled, stepping back, and Rick's vision went red. This wasn't management. It was tyranny, and it was his fault. "Say that again," Rick growled, dropping the spatula, squaring up. Steven smirked. "What, gonna cry? Get in line or get out? Your call." Rick's fists balled, memories of Miami punks flashing, disrespect he'd sworn to crush. "No one talks to him like that. No one," he said, voice low, lethal. Todd grabbed his sleeve, whispering, "Alex, stop. I need this. Don't." But Rick shook him off, staring Steven down. "What's your excuse, huh? Yelling, threatening. What gives you the right?" Steven laughed, harsh. "Right? They don't listen unless I scream. Crew runs me, not the other way. You wouldn't last an hour here." "An hour? I'd walk out in 10 minutes if you opened your mouth at me," Rick spat, stepping closer. Steven's smirk faded, replaced by a scowl. "Then walk, tough guy. See if I care." The air crackled, the crew frozen, watching. Todd's eyes begged Rick to stop, but he couldn't. This was bigger than Alex now. "Walk? Nah, I'm done playing," Rick said, ripping off the gloves, his voice rising. "I've been in this business 20 years, fast food, restaurants, all of it. I'm Rick Silva, CEO of this company, and what I've seen here is a damn disgrace." The room stopped. Spatulas clattered, fryers hissed, Todd's jaw dropped. Steven blinked, stammering, "You... what?" "You heard me," Rick snapped, pointing at the grill. Lukewarm burgers, no training, you barking like a dog. This isn't my standard. We're shutting this place down. Right now. Gasps rippled through the crew. Todd whispered, "Shut down? We're fired?" His voice broke, fear raw. "No, Todd, you're not fired," Rick said, turning to him softer. "This is on me. I let you down. All of you. No training, no respect. That's my mess to fix." He faced Stephen, ice in his tone. How long you been here?" Stephen shifted, deflated. 6 weeks. They threw me in. No prep. Threw you in? Rick cut him off, incredulous. "You're barely trained, and you're running this? Who signed off on that?" Stephen shrugged, mumbling. "I was assistant manager 3 weeks, then they said, 'Take it.' I didn't know enough. Still don't." Rick's stomach sank. His ladder was a house of cards, and he'd built it. "Unbelievable," Rick muttered, then raised his voice. "Last car. Serve it, then we're done tonight. Erica, tell him we're closing after this." A worker nodded, rushing off. Todd stared, lost. "Alex, Rick, why? We're trying." Claw. Rick met his eyes, guilt clawing him. "Trying's not enough if I didn't give you the tools. I'm mortified this happened." Stephen hovered, sheepish now. "Look, I didn't mean—" Rick silenced him with a glare. "Save it. You're getting retrained, or you're out. Period." He pulled out his phone, dialing HQ. "Mark, it's Rick. Get me GMs from other stores, now. This place reopens when it's right." He hung up, hands shaking, not from anger, but shame. Todd tugged his arm, quiet. "You're really the boss. What happens to us?" Rick forced a steady breath. "You're paid. You've got jobs, I promise. But this," he waved at the chaos, "ends tonight." The crew murmured, uncertain. Rick looked at Todd, his defiance, his fear, and felt the weight of every decision he'd ever made crash down. "I'm proud you spoke up," Rick said, low. "Took guts." Todd nodded, faint. "Felt like my fault, but I'd do it again." "Nay?" Rick clapped his shoulder, then stepped back, staring at the flickering checkers sign. He'd shut it down, but what next? If this was his company's pulse, he'd just stopped its heart, and restarting it might break him. "New guy, huh? Alex, right? Come on, doors this way. Let's see what you got." Joyce's voice rang out, warm but firm, as she waved Rick inside the Carroll City checkers. The late-night air buzzed with crickets and car engines, the drive-through glowing under flickering lights. Rick, still undercover as Alex Garcia, adjusted his wig, stepping into the chaos of a shift he'd demanded his stores dominate. Late-night sales, his pride and joy. But tonight, he was no CEO, just a grunt about to get schooled. "Yeah, Alex, you're Joyce. Lead the way. I'm green as hell," Rick said, forcing a nervous grin, his pulse quickening. The place hummed, orders crackling through a busted speaker, staff darting like bees. Joyce, a broad-shouldered woman with a megawatt smile, clapped him on the back. "Green's fine, honey. Stick with me. You'll fly. Welcome to my house." She spun to the window, singing out, "Hey, darling, what's it going to be tonight?" "Number 12. Medium," a tired voice rasped through the static. Joyce nodded, hands already moving. "Chili dog, onions, little bad breath, that cool?" The customer chuckled. "Yeah, fine." She winked at Rick. "See, it's not burgers, it's love. Watch this, 672 sweetie, pull up." Her energy was electric, a stark contrast to the grim homestead nightmare. Rick watched, awed. "You make it look easy. How long you been at this?" Joyce grinned, tossing fries into a bag. "Long enough to know my people. Been GM here 3 years. Late night's my jam. You?" Rick shrugged, sticking to his script. Had a pharmacy that tanked. Trying food now." Joyce nodded, sympathetic. "Rough break, but you'll get it. Jump in. Solo time." "Solo? Already?" Rick's stomach flipped as she stepped away, leaving him at the window. "You've got Mark and Shane if you choke. Fly, baby," she called, vanishing to the back. The headset buzzed. Medium number 5, heavy mayo, heavy ketchup. Rick froze, fumbling the screen. Sure, Mark, help, screen's dead." Mark, a lanky kid, rushed over, resetting it. "There, go," Rick stammered into the mic. "Sorry, sir, 1 sec. What else?" The guy snapped. "Just that. Hurry up." Rick's hands shook. mayo squirting everywhere, his CEO cool evaporating. "Damn it, I'm a statue," he muttered, Joyce's laugh echoing as she returned. "Stiff as a board, Alex. Loosen up. If I was milk, you'd shake me to butter." He forced a laugh, wiping sweat. "I suck at this. How do you stay so alive?" Joyce leaned in, eyes twinkling. "Grateful, honey. Checkers saved me once. You ever hit bottom?" Rick hesitated, then nodded. "Yeah, kinda. You?" Her smile faded, voice dropping. "Both parents drunks. Lost 'em. Dad to COPD, mom to liver rot, then my brother, AIDS. 6 months, all gone. I had a kid, 5 years old, selling everything to scrape by. Checkers, coupons fed us 2 days straight." Rick's throat tightened. "Jesus, Joyce, I can't imagine." She shrugged, tough but tender. "You don't imagine. You live it. That's why I'm here, giving back." The speaker crackled again. "Number 6, 5 chicken boxes?" Rick stumbled, Joyce guiding him. "Slow down, Alex. Apologize less. Do more. Speed's king." "Speed, right," he panted. "Boxing chicken," her story sinking in. He'd doubled late-night profits, but Joyce made it real. His brand was her lifeline. "Hey, Joyce, if you ran this, what'd you change?" She smirked. "Know my crowd? Corporate Axe chocolate sundaes. My folks loved 'em. Apple pies? Midwest crap. Down here, it's Thanksgiving junk." Rick's ears perked. "They didn't ask you?" Joyce shook her head. "Nope. Focus groups, they say. I'm one voice, drowned out." He clenched his jaw. His data-driven empire was deaf to her. "What else?" he pressed. "Local stuff, car shows, free soda coupons. Brings him in for burgers, not just fizz. But corporate says jump, I say how high." "That's bull," Rick snapped, forgetting himself. Joyce raised a brow. "You're fired up, Alex. Been stiffed by suits, too?" He caught his slip, grinning. "Yeah, hate being ignored. Grew up fighting that." She nodded, understanding. "Me too. But I keep going. Got a girlfriend, GM too, 21 years. She's late tonight, though. Gonna chew her out." Rick laughed, but inside gears turned. Joyce was gold, loyal, sharp, crushed by his machine. "You're a force, Joyce. Ever think they don't see it?" She sighed. "Sometimes. I'm in debt to my eyeballs, barely breathing. But Daddy said God don't give you more than you can take. Guess he thinks I'm a tank." The line surged, Joyce diving back in. "Chop, chop, Alex, dance with me." Rick followed, fumbling but learning, her resilience a mirror to his own past. He'd fought bullies, built this company, but had he lost its soul? "She's right here, and I'm blind," he muttered, the night stretching on, a question lingering. Could he save her before someone else stole her light? "Johanna, I'm Alex Garcia, here to work the board," Rick said, stepping into the mobile, Alabama Checkers, the chain's birthplace, gleaming with his new prototype design. The air smelled of toasted buns, the sandwich station a hive of precision. He'd come to test his vision, but under the wig, he was sweating. Could his upgrades outshine the human grit he'd ignored? "That's me. Come on, hat up. Let's make some magic," Johanna replied, her voice calm but commanding, handing him a headset. She was wiry, quick, her apron crisp despite the heat. "We start when they order. No waiting. Number 2, chicken burger. Go!" The headset buzzed, and she was off, buns hitting the toaster before Rick could blink. "Whoa, you're fast. When do I jump in?" he asked, stunned. Johanna grinned, sliding meat onto bread. "Now, Alex, toaster's your friend. Red one's hot, meat's here. Small, large hot dogs, low on patties, yell at the grill. Teamwork, got it?" Rick nodded, grabbing a bun, fumbling the plastic. "Damn it, stupid wrapper!" Johanna laughed, sharp. "Big arms, no grip? Really, Alex?" She ripped it open for him, hands a blur. Mayo, ketchup, pickles. 2, spaced. Onion, tomato, lettuce. Shake it off. Mustard, cheese if they want. Wrap it. Checker burger. Done. Rick tried, mayo oozing like a flood. "Too much," he winced. She smirked. "Way too much. You're feeding a cow, not a customer." "Got it. Less is more," he muttered, retrying, her pace daunting. "You're a machine, Johanna. How long you been this good?" She shrugged, stacking a double cheese. 7 years. First Checkers ever's right next door, tearing it down for parking. Breaks my heart, but this new one's slick. Rick glanced out, history raised for progress. His call. Guilt nibbled. 7 years? You're a vet, he said, wrapping a sloppy, spicy chicken. Number 9, what's that? She sighed. Spicy chicken, lettuce, tomato, no pickles, he said. Redo the top, Alex. He cursed, starting over, gloves slippery. I'm a disaster. How do you remember? Johanna smirked. Flow, man. Big Buford, Baconzilla triple. Learn 'em, you'll glide. Glide? I'm crawling, he groaned, a rush hitting. Chili dogs, doubles, no cheese. She stepped in, bailing him out. You're a turtle, Alex. They're waiting. The headset barked. Hurry up, I'm starving. Rick's pride stung. He'd designed this place, but he couldn't keep up. Sorry, Johanna, I'm tanking you. Nah, you're new. Takes time, she said, softer. Lunch break, Diet Coke? He nodded, collapsing against the wall. I'm dying. This prototype's smooth, though. Helps, right? She nodded. Yeah, space is gold. Old one was a coffin. Rick exhaled. His millions weren't wasted, but Johanna was the real engine. 7 years. No burnout? He probed, sipping. She stared out. Paycheck to paycheck, $8 an hour. No bonuses, no nothing. Managers get raises. Us? Zilch. Rick choked on his drink. Zilch, you're the backbone. She nodded, bitter. Tell corporate. I'd manage, but a 50-cent bump ain't worth it. Other places start at $11. $11? And we're at $9 for managers? Rick's voice rose, outrage slipping. Johanna eyed him. Yeah, why I never took it, plus my car's a wreck. Cuts off half the time. Can't risk it. Rick's mind raced. His incentive plan was a joke, bleeding talent like her. You'd be perfect, though. What did you do different? Reward my crew, she said, fierce. They bust ass, get nothing. I'd tell 'em they're gold. Keep 'em here. Rick nodded, slow. Smart. They don't see that upstairs? She scoffed. Nope. Suits don't care about Johanna from Mobile. Her words cut. He was those suits, blind to her spark. Car trouble's rough. Ever think of jumping ship? He asked, testing. She shook her head. Checkers is home, but if someone saw me, might not stay. Rick's chest tightened. She was a gem, and he was losing her to his own neglect. You're too good for this, he muttered, low. She smirked. Maybe. Back to it. Rush coming. They dove in, Rick still slow, Johanna a whirlwind. Pick it up, Alex. They're hungry, she teased, but her earlier words echoed. He'd built a shiny new store, but not for her. Not really. She's slipping away, he thought, wrapping a big Buford, the shift grinding on. Could he hold her, or would this be his next regret? Rick, you sound like hell. What's going on out there? Lisa's voice crackled through the phone, sharp with worry, as Rick paced outside the Tampa HQ lot. The night was thick, humid, his feet throbbing from days on the line. He'd seen too much. Todd's fear, Joyce's grit, Johanna's quiet despair, and it was clawing at him, a beast he couldn't outrun. Lisa, it's bad. Worse than I thought, Rick said, voice rough, kicking a pebble into the dark. I built this thing to win, but it's breaking them. My people. I'm breaking them. He saw Todd's flinch under Stephen's threats, Joyce's coupons for dinner days, Johanna's $8 an hour loyalty. His empire was a machine, and he'd let it grind them down. Slow down. You're not making sense. What did you see? Lisa pressed, grounding him. He stopped, staring at the Checkers logo glowing across the lot. Disrespect, neglect. Kids like Todd taking hits I swore I'd never let happen. Joyce, she's a damn saint, and I've got her drowning in debt. Johanna's a star, and I pay her peanuts. I'm the bully now, Lisa. You? A bully? Rick, you fought tooth and nail for this, she started, but he cut her off. Fought for what? Profit? I shut a store down. Homestead's a mess. Stephen's a thug. Untrained, my fault. Todd's scared to breathe wrong. I taught myself to stand up. Mom drilled that into me, but they can't. I've caged them. Lisa went quiet, then soft. You're carrying too much. Come home, figure it out here. Rick shook his head, though she couldn't see. Can't. I'm calling them in. Todd, Joyce, Johanna. Flint, tomorrow. They think they're judging Alex, but I'm done hiding. Gotta face this. Face it. You're shaking, I hear it, she said, sharp again. What if it's bigger than you? He laughed, bitter. It is, but I'm not running. Mom said, don't bow. Neither will they, not anymore. He hung up, fists tight, the Miami memory burning. Fight back, Rick! He'd stood up then, bloody but unbowed. Now his crew needed that fire. Back inside, he dialed Mark. It's Rick. Steven's retraining. Push it hard. New policy. Every hire gets respect training. Day one, no excuses. And get GMs to Flint tomorrow. Big reveal. Mark hesitated. Boss, execs won't like this. Shutting stores, shaking things up. Rick snapped. Screw the execs. I'm CEO. They move or they're out. Do it. He slumped against the wall, Todd's I'm her rock echoing. Joyce's checkers saved me. Johanna's no bonuses ever. His legacy, $680 million a year, 20,000 workers, teetered. If this keeps up, it's all smoke, he muttered, rubbing his eyes. He'd pushed speed, perfection, but forgot the soul, his people, buckling under his obsession. Rick, you still here? Mark poked his head out, wary. Yeah, just thinking, Rick said, standing. Todd stood up, barely, but he did. Joyce fights every day. Johanna's still here after 7 years. I owe them a voice. Mark frowned. Voice? They're crew. Suits won't get that. Rick glared. They will, or I'll burn this down myself. Set it up. Flint, noon. Mark nodded, backing off. Rick stared out, the lot empty, his mind racing. I'm not my mother's son if I let this slide, he growled, the bike-pushing punks flashing back. He'd punched then, lost, but won respect. Now he'd punch up, execs, systems, whatever stood in his way. Flint loomed, a reckoning he couldn't dodge. Tomorrow's gonna hurt, he whispered, heading to his car. The engine roared, but his heart pounded louder. If his journey kept peeling back this rot, his empire might not survive the fix. Or him. He gunned it, the road ahead dark, a storm brewing he'd have to face alone. Hey, Alex, looking sharp, what's the deal here? Johanna's voice hit Rick as he stepped into the Flint rallies, the air thick with fry grease and tension. Todd, Joyce, and Johanna stood by the counter, confused, the crew buzzing behind them. They thought they were here to judge Alex's second chance, but Rick, wig off, suit on, was ready to drop the bomb that had flipped their worlds. Yeah, Alex, you clean up nice, Joyce teased, arms crossed, her grin fading as he didn't laugh. Todd hung back, eyes darting. Something's off, huh? Rick took a breath, stepping center. You're right, Todd. No more games. I'm Rick Silva, CEO of Checkers and Rallies. The room froze. Forks clinked, gasps cut the air. What? Johanna blurted, hand to mouth. Joyce's jaw dropped. You're kidding. Our boss? Todd just stared, pale. Rick raised a hand. Not kidding. I went undercover, worked with you, saw it all, and I'm sorry. I failed you. Their eyes locked on him, shock turning to wariness. Johanna, you're lightning on that board. One of the best I've seen, he started, voice steady. You said managers get bonuses, crew gets nothing. That's wrong. We're fixing it. Incentives roll down to everyone now. She blinked, stunned. Everyone? For real? Rick nodded. For real. And you're more than crew. I'm promoting you. Management training, 25% raise, starting today. Management? Me? Her voice cracked, tears welling. And $20,000. Buy a car that runs, Rick added, firm. No more stalling out, Johanna laughed, shaky. A car? Oh my God, I can't believe this. She hugged him, sobbing, and Rick felt her hope. His first win. Joyce, you're a damn dynamo, he turned, smiling. Late night's yours, energy no one matches. That speaker's trash, though. New one's in tomorrow, she beamed. Thank you, Rick pressed on. You know our guests better than my focus groups. We're starting a GM council, quarterly, with me and the execs. You're the first member. A council? With you? Joyce's eyes shone, pride swelling. That's an honor, Rick. He nodded. Earned it. And $10,000, ease that debt, plus $10,000 more, just for you, no one else. She gasped, clutching her chest. For me, I'd get an urn for my brother. He's still in a box. Her voice broke, and Rick's throat tightened. She'd given him more than he'd ever given her. Todd, he faced him last, softer. You standing up to Stephen? That hit me. No one disrespects my people, ever again. Oh, Todd nodded, faint. I thought I'd messed up, but I'm glad I did it. Rick smiled. You inspired me. We're training every hire on respect. Starting now. Stephen's relearning too. Good. He needs it, Todd muttered, a spark in his eyes. Rick leaned in. You lit up on that grill. Cooking's your soul. We're paying for culinary school, tuition, books, all of it. Todd's mouth fell open. School? For real? Rick nodded. And $15,000? Help your mom breathe easier. 15 grand? Todd choked, lunging for a hug. I gotta hug you, man. Rick laughed, clapping his back, the room buzzing with their joy. But he stepped back, serious. This isn't charity, it's what you're owed. I let this company drift. Your fight brought me back. Johanna wiped her eyes. You saw us. Really saw us. Joyce nodded. Proud to work for you, Rick. Todd grinned, rare and bright. It's my time now. Rick looked at them, his chest tight. Relief, guilt, fire mixing. You're the heart of this I won't forget again. The crew clapped, tentative, then loud. Rick waved them off, humble. Back to work soon, but know this. We're changing. For you. He stepped aside, their chatter rising, but his mind churned. Execs would push back, hard. This was just the start, and the real fight loomed. You shut it down? Ballsy, Rick, Mark said, leaning into the Flint office doorway, arms crossed. Rick sat alone, staring at the empty rallies, the crew gone home with their rewards. Todd was off to enroll, Joyce plotting her council pitch, Johanna car shopping, wins he could taste. But the quiet gnawed at him, a shadow of the chaos he'd unleashed. Ballsy or stupid, Rick muttered, rubbing his face. Homestead's dark because of me. Saw too much. Had to act. Mark frowned. Act? Execs are pissed? Training costs, incentives, councils? They'll fight you. Rick glared up. Let 'em. I'm not here to coddle suits. I'm here for them. Them? Crew? Mark scoffed. You're CEO, not Santa. Rick stood, sharp. CEO means accountability. I failed Todd, scared kid, no training. Joyce, saved by coupons, ignored by us. Johanna, 7 years, $8 an hour. That's not winning, Mark. That's losing. His voice rose, fists clenched. He'd seen their eyes, felt their stakes. Mark backed off, hands up. Fine, your call. Just watch your back. Board's rumbling. Rick nodded. Cold. They rumble, I roar. Get those GMs here, reopen Homestead right. Or not at all. Mark left, and Rick sank back, staring out. The sign flickered. A heartbeat he'd nearly stopped. Todd's in school, he murmured, picturing the kid's grin. Joyce has got a voice now. Johanna's driving, finally. Small victories, but the war loomed. Execs, old habits, a system he'd let fester. Mom said stand up, he growled, the bike shove flashing back. He'd stood then, bloody-nosed, defiant. Now he'd stand for them. His phone buzzed. Lisa. You alive? She asked, half teasing. Barely, he said, voice raw. Gave it all. School, cash, promises. They're flying, but I'm scared, Lisa. What if I can't fix it? She paused, then firm. You will. You're Rick Silva, stubborn as hell. They need that. Need me to fight, he agreed, staring at the lot. Execs will come for me, hard. But Todd's cooking, Joyce is dreaming, Johanna's moving. That's worth it. She laughed, soft. Worth it till you're broke or fired, he smirked. Maybe both. Night, Lisa. He hung up, the dark pressing in. Next day, HQ buzzed. New training rolled out, grumbles from suits echoing. Rick walked the halls, head high, Todd's "My time to shine" ringing in his ears. Joyce's first council idea landed. A car show, local as hell. Johanna drove up, new wheels gleaming, waving. Thanks, boss, she yelled, and he waved back, pride flaring. But whispers grew. Board meetings scheduled, execs plotting. Too soft, they'd say. Too risky. Rick stood at his window, Tampa sprawling below. "Checkers isn't burgers, it's them," he said, firm. "I'll fight till it's right." He turned, fists ready. The real battle was coming, and he'd face it head on, win or lose. The horizon glowed, uncertain, a challenge unanswered.